Here are the best to worst weak and smooth bowling balls based on all ball companies. Unlike my other list, this is only going to be a top 8 because 3 ball companies did not have bowling balls that fit this slot at all. Starting from the bottom of the list, we're going with the Brunswick Rhino Teal Pro. Now, while this ball is a remake of an old ball and did fit the slot fairly well, it just never really picked up. Now, part of it could be the performance. When it had shine on it, it was still too smooth, which was weird, but when it was dull, it just picked up too early and puked. It never really had a good spot. I think it would have been really good on wooden lanes, but on synthetics, when there's a little bit of oil, I just think the ball is way too weak, even for the weak and smooth category. It seems like you can find better balls for cheaper. This ball was a little pricier, so I think you can find much better ones on the list that are at a much cheaper price. Coming in at number 7 is the Hammer Radioactive Vibe. While I am a massive fan of the Vibe series, the Radioactive doesn't fit what it's supposed to be. So right now we have the Arctic, the Radioactive, and the Ocean Vibe. The Arctic seems to be earlier and rollier than the Radioactive Vibe, which is just odd. Now, when I made this list, the Arctic Vibe was not out, so apologies for that. That would be very high on the list. But the Radioactive Vibe seems to be later than the Arctic Vibe, and the Arctic is the hybrid and the Radioactive is a solid, which is weird. Also, the bright yellow colorway is very bright, but usually bright colors don't roll as well. The color pigments in a ball do indeed matter, by the way. So I just don't think this ball is as good at what it's supposed to be. Coming in at number 6 is the 900 Global Exponent. Now, the Exponent was a really cool ball, and I think it was great at what it was supposed to do, but it just never really picked up. It was a very strong bowling ball for being in the weak and smooth category and being labeled as a weak and smooth ball. Super strong, super early, pretty dynamic yet. I really think this ball would have taken off, but it came out at a time when a lot of other good, weak, smooth balls, as we're going to mention coming up, were coming out, and also it is one of the priciest balls on this list, which doesn't make it as worth it. If you can find something that's higher quality and cheaper, you should probably go for that. Rounding out the top 5 is the Hustle X-Ray. The Hustle X-Ray is the new smooth Hustle in the line, and the Hustle line is always incredible in this weak category. I know it's only number 5, but all of the balls from this point onward are incredible for being in the weak category. The Hustle X-Ray looks really good, good for straighter angles. It has a tiny core in it, so it's able to get down lane pretty far and not completely boom down lane, but just round off of it. I think two-handers would really like this ball, or any rev dominant bowlers. And this ball is also very cheap. I believe it's $110 out on Bowlers Mart, and that means every local pro shop will have it for very cheap also. So if you're looking for a good bang for your buck, this is going to be it. Coming in at number 4 is the Radical Sneak Attack Solid. The Sneak Attack and Counter Attack series have been awesome for Radical as low-end pieces, and Radical always makes smoother bowling balls. They're always less boomy than any other brand in bowling, and this ball is perfect for that. This is a lefty's dream come true for a bowling ball. It is far down lane, it is very smooth, never really too boomy, and also looks really good short pin, which is surprising for a ball with this small of a core on it. Now, this ball is a little pricier than some others on the list, but I think it's one of the best options, and it is really flying under the radar right now. Coming in the 3rd place spot is a Motive bowling ball. My favorite thrill to come out so far, the Max Thrill Solid. Now, the Thrill and the Top Thrill were okay in the lower end category for Motive. Motive never really has taken off in the weak category. They've always had Venom Shocks, but then everything below that has been hit or miss. This Max Thrill seems to be pretty solid. Seems to be a really good piece. It gets pretty far down lane, still pretty smooth, but it seems more dynamic than what the price point says. This probably could sneak into the medium and smooth category depending on the bowler. It's a very strong piece, probably the strongest on this list in my opinion. So if you're looking for a stronger, smooth, low-end bowling ball, this could be it. Coming in at number 2, it's a ball I had to include in one of the top spots, is the track Cipher. Now, while I have not personally thrown this ball and seen it very often, the PWBA Tour was filled with them this year. This Cipher looked awesome for a lot of those girls, which is super cool to see. Track usually has some low-key balls that are great. The Cipher, brand new core, brand new cover, brand new everything, and it looked great. It was good for being able to play in and be able to round off the friction really well. I think this is a great house shot bowling ball. Let me know down below if you've thrown your Cipher or if you've seen anybody throw it and what they think of it. Coming in at the number 1 spot is some people's greatest bowling ball of all time, the Storm IQ Tour. This ball has been around for many, many years. Originally was a middle end ball, now is down to a weak and smooth bowling ball. It is just one of the best. While it is by far the most expensive ball on the list, it is still an awesome, awesome piece. It has been around for so long. It has been amazing at USBC Nationals out in Vegas, Reno, or other places. It is a very, very good ball, especially when the surfaces that you're bowling on are a little more beat up. This ball is incredible in the state of Minnesota. It seems like everybody has one. And I bet in a lot of other places where there's a lot of friction on the lane, this ball just takes off. If you haven't thrown an IQ Tour, I'd recommend trying to find one, even a used one, just to throw it and see if the shape fits you. I know guys that have drilled 10 to 30 of these things because they just love them that much. Those are my top 11 weak and smooth bowling balls. Tune in next week. We'll have the final one in this category, the weak and sharp bowling balls. Make sure to subscribe and like for more videos like this.